What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Mr. Random, and this is my 2007 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. This is gonna be one hell of a review. So with that being said, put on some pants, grab some tissues, and let's get this thing started.
Now on the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. Bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad.
All right, now to start things off, we're gonna get actually, surprisingly enough, the least interesting thing about this car, and that is the engine. So let's go ahead and pop the hood. And a lot of you Crown Victoria guys already know what you're looking at, but if this is your first time seeing a Crown Victoria, you guys are looking at a 4.6 liter V8 straight from the Mustang GT and the Ford F-150. Currently the engine is sitting on 250 horsepower and it does remain untouched. I do plan eventually to put a cold air intake, but I'm reserving the heavy duty mods for Project White Lightning. If you guys haven't heard of Project White Lightning, I suggest you browse through my channel and look out for that, because it's going to be one hell of a build. So now that we got that out of the way, I decided to leave this Crown Victoria on stock suspension along with stock steel rims. Now the rims in the Crown Vic are 17 inches and they have been designed to work under the most grueling of conditions. Now these holes you guys see on these rims are actually done on purpose. They're designed to assist with cooling your brakes. And you know what guys, I do have this philosophy that I follow my entire life, and that is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And moving right along to the front of the car, we have a push bar straight from Houston, Texas Police Department. Now this actually is a single solid welded piece, and it is attached to the entire frame of the car, which makes this push bar both durable and sturdy as hell. Sadly, these push bars are no longer produced, guys, and you are currently looking at one of only 4 here in the entire state of Florida. Now moving along to the grill area here, the only custom thing I have on this grill is this custom made black and white American flag with the Ford logo and the police thin blue line going across. I'm currently working on making more of these decals, guys. This is one of a kind. If you guys are interested in getting yourself one of these, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'm not sure really how many people would actually want to have this on their car. Now if you do notice this white part right here, that's part of the decal. These are actually rock chips that have scratched up the surface of the decal. But if you guys are interested in getting one of these, let me know in the comments. Now moving right along to the headlights, I did replace the original old faded lights with these aftermarket black on black headlights. Now in my personal opinion, I think it gives the car a cleaner, more aggressive look all around. And I have also installed a chin spoiler on the car as well, guys. Just kind of going with that whole stealthy, just kind of aggressive look, which I do believe it does a great job at doing. Now, a lot of you guys might have noticed or seen the video where I plasti dip the spotlight and I plasti dip the entire chrome A-pillar and door trim right here, guys. The paint isn't holding up too well, but it is plasti dip. It's just rubber. Peel it right off and respray it in like 10 minutes, so it's not much of an issue. I also did add this caution canine bright red sticker here, guys. A lot of you guys already know that I work with dogs, and this actually is a requirement when you're working with dogs. The point of the sign is to prevent people from actually sticking their hands in when there's a freaking dog in there. Now moving right along to the trunk area, you guys are gonna notice that I do have a trunk organizer. Now this actually does serve multiple purposes. Actually, let's go with 2. Number 1 is it keeps the things in my trunk moderately organized. It keeps them from rolling around in my truck. And the second purpose that this actually serves is that this is made out of Kevlar. And if you guys didn't notice, Kevlar, this is an incredibly sturdy and durable material, and it's completely flush against my truck. Now God forbid, in the case of an accident, the reason a lot of police departments use Kevlar trunk organizers is because if your car gets rear-ended, the Kevlar does its job of absorbing as much of the brunt of that impact as it can, and it can sometimes even prevent the backside of your car, this entire area right here, from getting crushed. And speaking of functionality, let's go ahead and talk about my bicycle rack / rear bumper guard. Now this thing does serve 2 purposes, like I just said. This thing does flip down and it holds up to 2 bicycles. This can be stretched out depending on what size your bikes are. It goes down, put 2 bikes. The second purpose this thing serves is that this is actually attached to the hitch of the car, and this is a full-blown rear bumper guard. This is solid tempered metal. You can't even hear the noise. That noise that makes this thing is as solid as it gets, and it's attached to the hitch of my car, which is attached to the frame, making it incredibly sturdy. Listen to this. Listen to this. So God forbid if my car ever gets rear-ended, not only do they have to go past this reinforced steel bumper guard right here, and also this protects my light, but it also has to go through the Kevlar trunk organizer that is installed in the back. So it's very easy to say that when you're driving around in my Crown Vic, you're probably driving around one of the most affordably safe cars you can be in Miami, Florida. Now let's move right along to the interior of my Crown Vic, and as you guys can see and you guys saw earlier, I do have the full-blown canine window bars installed. Now for obvious reasons, this is in case I ever have to leave my car turned off for X amount of time. If I gotta grab something really quick from the gas station for whatever reason, I lower my windows. It prevents my car from getting broken into. It kind of stops people from sticking their hands out. But the most important part is that it does give ventilation to my companion that is in here, so they don't suffocate to death, and hopefully that canine warning sticker does its job. Second thing I got in the interior is this custom made canine floorboard that I made. You guys saw that video recently. Now let's address the elephant, this big gray elephant in the room, and of course that is this Patriot prisoner Partition. Now like I said, guys, my modifications serve 2 purposes. Number 1 is usability, and number 2, it needs to be practical, it needs to work. But there's also a safety element to me installing this as well, because this thing is incredibly sturdy. This is like installing a custom roll bar. Now in case of a, God forbid, in case of a side collision, this actually reinforces the side of the Crown Victoria right here. This entire side, not only do we have the pillars here, but we have this as well. In case a car ever hits me from the side, it will prevent severe crumpling, which could also protect my dog. And in God forbid, in the case of a rollover, this actually acts as a roll bar as well. This thing, like I said, goes all the way through, so it's like a makeshift roll bar in a sense. Now let's talk about some other interior modifications that I have on this Crown Vic. Number 1 is we have this really cheap Walmart center console that I will definitely be replacing very soon with a more sophisticated center console. The second thing we have is I'm a purist at heart, so I like to keep everything as stock as I possibly can. We do have the stock radio. I don't want to get rid of that. I want to preserve the originality of my Crown Victoria. That's what Project White Lightning is for. But we do have this big ass right here speaker that I have mounted right here, and you know what, this thing is loud as hell. Let me see if I can turn it on real quick and give you guys a little taste of how loud this damn thing is. And here we go. Oh yeah, it's just loud as hell. And then we're gonna move right on to the Cool Cop ventilation system that I got hooked up, and it comes all the way here into the cage where my dog gets plenty of cold air, and if I ever want, I just remove it right from that hole and I can give myself some nice cold air. This is definitely one of my favorite modifications that I have. People always give me these weird looks when they see me driving around with this hose going into my shirt. I look like RoboCop or some crazy shit like that. Now a lot of you guys are probably saying, man, some of those modifications you've done to your car make it extremely heavy. We have the super heavy front push bar, we got the rear bike rack / bumper guard, we got the iron freaking window bars, we got this almost 100-pound prisoner Partition, and you guys will be absolutely right, the car is incredibly heavy. You can literally feel how heavy it is when you're driving it, you know. And obviously all that extra weight does come with a price, and the price is that the gas mileage is severely affected. Not to the point where it bothers me, but it's definitely noticeable because you are driving around with all this extra weight. Having a slightly lower gas mileage is a very small price to pay in my eyes. because the trade-off is you're getting a lot more safety, you're getting a lot more practicality, you're getting a lot more usability out of your Crown Victoria. I got a tow hitch in the back, I can tow things. The push bar keeps me safe. The rear bumper guard keeps me safe. The windows protect my dog. This partition is used. Everything in my Crown Victoria is usable and it is practical, guys. So in my eyes, the lower gas mileage and the heavier car is a smaller price to pay. You want a symbol of the American spirit? Look no further than the Crown Victoria. With a design that's unchanged in almost 13 years. The Ford Crown Victoria is the shining example of American ingenuity and reliability. It's practical, yet durable. It's subtle, yet aggressive. It's a future classic in the making. Now the question is, why haven't you driven one yet?